So guys, today I'm going to be going over my favorite scenes in Infinity War. These scenes were not just great, they were so epic that they sent shivers through my whole body. They all probably almost made me cry in some of them just because they're so amazing, so epic. Just so many years of Marvel movies and everything just came to this moment, so you kind of got to agree with me. Before we get started, we need a ton of thumbs ups to make sure this video does well with all the competition. So if you're feeling nice, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, and let's get started. A lot of stuff happened in the movie, so I may have forgotten some scenes. If you can think of anything that was super epic and amazing, let me know in the comment section below. So the first scene had to be when Thanos' children come to Earth for the first time. They encounter Iron Man and Strange and Wong. And the first time that Iron Man turns, or I should say the first time Tony Stark turns into Iron Man, it was so epic because this is the first time like on the big screen besides trailers, we have seen like his new suit come into play. He wears a little thing right here on his chest, and that holds all the nanobots that create his suit. So just seeing it kind of go around him was super amazing. That definitely sent chills down my back. And also at this same time frame when Iron Man uses his new suit, we are introduced to one of the children of Thanos, Ebony Maw. Like, this didn't send chills down my spine or anything like that, but I just want to point out his character was one of my favorite new introductions in this movie. Like, the children of Thanos, none of them really stood out to me except Ebony Maw. Like, the way he can just use his mind and telekinesis so like easily is just amazing. Like, he can throw a huge truck at you and he just like kind of moves his hand like that. Like, the way he moves his hands like so gently just makes it seem like he is so freaking powerful, and he puts zero effort into what he does. And it doesn't help it that he is just like so creepy looking, and yeah, you just have to see it to believe it, but he is a really cool character. So we saw Iron Man's new suit, and soon later we saw Spider-Man's suit. So if you've seen the trailers, you see this like big thing, this big like spaceship that Spider-Man is going off into space in. In the movie, he is basically going up so high into space he can't breathe anymore. He has just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man suit on, so it's nothing too high tech. Iron Man instructs him to just fall off. So he lets go, and when he lets go, he falls into the Iron Spider suit. And just seeing Spider-Man get this suit, just that scene was super epic and amazing. And then this transitions to the scene where we're familiar with the trailers, that Doctor Strange is being tortured by Ebony Maw, and Spider-Man actually suggests the way to defeat Ebony Maw, which in my opinion was such a cheap way of killing this character. I wish this character would have lasted to the very end versus all the other children of Thanos that just don't seem too special to me in this movie. But anyway, Iron Man shoots a hole in the spaceship they're in. Ebony Maw goes out into space, freezes to death. Doctor Strange almost does too, but Spider-Man catches him, and it's shown where he uses his Iron Spider suit to save them. 4 legs came out, and that gave him a way to prop himself up, to pull him back in so he doesn't die in outer space. So that was super epic, getting to see the Iron Spider suit for the first time, like being in action. So probably one of my next favorite scenes had to do with Vision and Scarlet Witch. You see Vision like looking like a normal person now. He's disguised himself. He's basically disconnected himself from the internet. Tony Stark can't find him, which is kind of a big deal because we know the children of Thanos are trying to get the 2 Infinity Stones from Earth, which the first one was the Time Stone that Doctor Strange had. Obviously, Ebony Maw failed at getting that. So we have Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive that were trying to get it from Vision. They were actually like kind of kicking Vision's ass, and Scarlet Witch is trying to basically protect Vision from them. You see a scene where they're trying to rip the stone out of Vision's forehead. We've seen that from the trailers. But yeah, it's not looking very good for Vision. He even got stabbed, so that now he can't like heal, or he can't change his density, so he can't go through things like he normally does. Typically, like if someone's about to stab Vision, he just like changes his density and stuff goes right through him, but they surprised him. He's basically effed up for the rest of the movie. So the epic part is when Captain America comes in, he grabs one of the children of Thanos' weapons, chucks it back at him. Yeah, that was pretty epic. Like, this is the first time we've seen Captain America in this movie. He was called from the little flip phone that he gave to Iron Man. Okay, so next up, probably one of my favorite scenes, or favorite parts of the movie, is like the massive fight scene in Wakanda. We see Wakanda, and there's like they have like a huge force field around them, and all the enemies are trying to come in, and they can't. They're getting their arms cut off. Or they're just basically committing suicide when they try to go through, which is crazy. The Wakandans like kind of can't understand that they're just committing suicide for Thanos in a way. They see them starting to go around the force field. They're saying if they go through the back end, they could get to Vision and Scarlet Witch, where Vision at this point is having his Mind Stone trying to be extracted from his body so he can live, and then they'll destroy the Mind Stone. Anyway, Black Panther decides to open up a single little part of the force field to let the enemies in right in front of them so they can have the advantage. And just when that scene starts, it is so freaking epic because you see like the characters just working together. You see a huge pan of how like epic the battle is. Like you just know it's going to be freaking amazing. And it's a little hard to keep track of the order of all this stuff because so many things are happening at the same time in different scenes. But around the same time, Thor is in the process of getting himself a new weapon. We all know that Hela destroyed his weapon in the last Thor movie. He goes and creates a weapon called the Stormbreaker. And like this thing legit has to be forged like any other type of weapon, but the metal is heated up from that of a dying star. So Thor has to like jumpstart this dying star because it's like broken for whatever reason. I guess Thanos like effed it up. So they get the dying star back on. It has its full power. And what happens, there's like a little opening that the dying star shoots energy to. That energy is what will melt the metal to create this weapon. And so basically this opening is stuck, and it seems very similar to the scene in Civil War where Captain America is trying to hold the helicopter back in before it escapes that has Bucky in it. But anyway, Thor has to like hold this little opening open, but it's not just an opening that's really, really strong and really heavy. He is getting like penetrated by the full force of a dying star. So he's getting like obliterated. You can see his like skin kind of coming off a little bit, not really graphical or gory, but so he's holding it open as long as possible so the metal can melt, so his new weapon can be forged. Eventually he just can't take it any longer. He lets go, kind of passes out. We see the weapon being forged, but it's missing a handle. And this scene, like the parts that hit me the most was Thor just like taking the beating of the dying star. Like that was really intense and amazing to watch. But what really topped that, or what really went on to it really good as well, we see Groot. He sees Thor not looking too good. Throughout the whole movie, Groot has just been like his teenage self. He's been playing video games, not really caring about anything. But he sees Thor, you know, hurt, possibly in trouble. They need a handle for the Stormbreaker. So Groot legit like rips off his arm and like entwines it around this weapon. And now that is the Stormbreaker. Once the Stormbreaker is fully made, it basically revives Thor, and now Thor has this weapon that is super OG, it could possibly defeat Thanos. Okay, next up, again, I think it's happening all around the same time as these previous events I've just mentioned. But Iron Man and his friends, Spider-Man, Drax, Star-Lord, Mantis, yeah, they're all going to Titan to try to basically surprise Thanos. Their plan is to steal his glove. Hey, I mean, that's a good idea, right? So Iron Man, the part where they're fighting Thanos to try to take his glove, Iron Man, this scene is really amazing to me because it's showing Iron Man using like all his like really heavy hitting moves. You see like these huge weapons coming out of his hands. He like puts braces down on the ground. You just have to see it. Like this part was amazing in itself. Like you can really see like Iron Man has some really good heavy hitting powers. But after he like whams on Thanos for such a long time, Thanos has just like a scratch on his face. He's bleeding slightly. And Thanos comments, you know, all that work just for a drop of blood. So that scene was amazing. But long story short, they try to take the glove from Thanos and they fail. And Iron Man is about to get killed, but Doctor Strange gives up his time stone. So at this point, Thanos has all the Infinity Stones except the Mind Stone, so he's going to Wakanda at this final epic battle scene to get it from Vision. Thanos arrives to Wakanda, Thor does too, and he arrives in Wakanda with such a freaking amazing epic scene. Like he just arrives, he uses his new hammer to just like F crap up so badly, he could probably destroy everybody like by himself. Like he's that freaking crazy and overpowered. Like he legit looks like a reason we could defeat Thanos. Like he is the key to defeating Thanos, it seems like. And he could have, but timing is a little off. So despite his epic arrival scene, after that we see Thanos trying to take the Mind Stone from Vision. And this scene here is, you know, really tough to watch as well because we have Vision telling Scarlet Witch to destroy the Mind Stone, basically kill me, sacrifice me so the universe is saved. So basically we see Scarlet Witch like focusing all of her energy on Vision, trying to destroy that Mind Stone after, of course, she has a very long conversation with Vision on how she doesn't want to, but she realizes even though she loves Vision, like this is important, she has to destroy the Mind Stone or Thanos will get the 6th Infinity Stone and be able to snap and destroy half the universe. So she is putting all her energy on Vision to destroy it. Thanos comes in, so now she has to use one hand to try to destroy the Mind Stone. She's using the other hand to try to keep Thanos away. She's doing a very good job at both. And before she does this, it's a really sad scene because Vision tells her before she starts, you know, you could never hurt me. So it's it's so freaking sad. And then right before Vision's Mind Stone gets destroyed, he says, I'll always love you, or something along those lines. I can't remember everything. It was just a very touching scene. But after we see the Mind Stone literally get obliterated, like you see it shatter, Thanos comes around. He like basically is talking to Scarlet Witch. He's like, I understand what you had to do. Obviously, I guess he can relate. He had to kill Gamora to get the Soul Stone, just like she had to kill Vision so he couldn't get the Mind Stone. But without even blinking, Thanos gets out the Time Stone that he just got from Doctor Strange. He can now reverse time. He reverses time to where Vision is back alive. And then he rips the stone out of Vision's head, showing the like mechanical makeup of his body. So it now makes it look like he's like no longer any type of person. He turns into this just gray corpse. So now Thanos has all 6 Infinity Stones. So after that, the next epic scene would be Thor coming down, like ready to F Thanos up. Thor comes down, stabs him with his Stormbreaker. He's like pushing it into Thanos. Thanos is like trying to talk. You can't really hear what he's saying. And then he said you should have aimed for the head, meaning like Thor should have hit Thanos in the head to kill him. Thanos is weak, but then he does the snap. And it's a really weird experience because when he does the snap, you would expect half the universe just to be gone like that. But it kind of like takes some time before we see all of our favorite characters dying, turning to ash. He even has like a conversation with the younger Gamora, and she asked if he did it, and she said, "What did it cost?" And he said, "Everything." So that scene was really powerful as well. You could interpret it as a lot of different things, but his everything perhaps could have been Gamora. We don't know. Take it how you want. Last scene that hit me so freaking hard. I don't know. This scene definitely didn't send shivers down my spine. It definitely wasn't epic. But after Thanos snaps his fingers, if you've watched the movie, you know who turns in the dust. But the worst scene had to have been Spider-Man. They're still on the planet Titan, and basically Spider-Man, like, I guess his spider sense allows him to sense that he's going to soon be turning into nothing. So he tells Mr. Stark that he doesn't feel good, and you see him and Mr. Stark like holding each other. He's crying to Mr. Stark or Iron Man or Tony or whoever you want to call him. He's just saying like, please don't let me go. I don't want to go. He's just like begging to not die. He's afraid. You now realize that Spider-Man, is super powerful as he is, he's still a kid, and this is so scary to him. No kid wants to die. And it just kills you because he is with like his father figure basically. He's telling Tony Stark, please, I don't want to go, and there's nothing Tony Stark can do. And I'm sure it is killing him because in Spider-Man Homecoming, Iron Man made it very, very clear that he doesn't want Spider-Man's death on his shoulder. So, yeah, that scene was horrible. I tried to keep my composure. I had like a single tear running down my face as like I'm trying to prevent myself from bawling uncontrollably. These girls next to me, like I hear them, they are like ugly crying. The whole theater is either quiet or like in shock, or you can hear like people sniffing. So it was crazy. Like that was the craziest scene that probably everybody will be talking about this movie. The movie had so many great scenes. All these were like the most epic, spine-tingling, emotion-having scenes. So let me know what your favorite scenes are in this movie in the comment section below. If you have not liked this video already, you better like it right now. I appreciate that. And we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well. I have to take an exam today, so I will see you later. Bye.